And this week's topic is the public safety exception to Miranda rights and the Boston Marathon bomber currently in custody. Can you tell us a little bit about how Miranda rights are supposed to function?
Well, the Miranda rights are created by the Supreme Court decision in 1966 in the case of Miranda versus Arizona. And your Miranda rights do not protect you from being arrested, only from incriminating yourself during questioning. So the public safety exception was created in 1984 in a case of New York versus Quarries. In that case, a woman reported that she had been raped and that the assailant was carrying a gun. When the police located the man, they asked about the location of the gun before they read him the rights. It went through several lower courts, but when it went to the Supreme Court, they finally ruled that this action was permissible because the gun posed an immediate threat to the public safety.
Let's talk about Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. Why is there a debate around his Miranda rights and the public safety exception?
Well, what's interesting is the scope of how broadly we're going to interpret the public safety doctrine. After he was captured, the Obama administration announced it was going to invoke the public safety exception and start interrogating in regards to whether there are other accomplices, whether there's other bombs and other explosives. So he was taken into custody on Friday, April the 19th, but he was not immediately read his Miranda rights, and they began the interrogation. Some have criticized the government for interpreting the public safety exception too broadly. The ACLU has made a statement, and I quote, "The public safety exception should be read narrowly. It only applies when there is continued threat to public safety. It's not an open-ended exception to your Miranda rights."
Could this issue have an impact on Tsarnaev's trial?
Well, a public defender was appointed this week, and in part on the basis that there are serious issues regarding possible interrogation. And at the same time, the government was invoking the public safety exception. You know, the Boston Police Department was issuing press releases basically saying on Twitter, "Captured, the hunt is over, the search is done, terror is over, justice has won." The defense team is likely to point out the discrepancies between the government's statements like these and the public safety exception.
Aaron, what's the bottom line when it comes to Dzhokhar Tsarnaev and the public safety exception to Miranda rights?
We'll have to see how this plays out, but what is interesting is that as soon as he was read his rights by the judge, he stopped communicating with the police.